They say a millionaire thinks differently, not just in the boardroom, not just in the bank account, but in the silence when no one is watching, when the world is asleep and only the voice inside remains. That voice is either your greatest fortune or your heaviest chain. You don't stumble into wealth. You think your way into it, because before a dollar is earned, before a business is built, before the world claps, it begins with a mind wired for vision, certainty, and decision. To think like a millionaire is to wage war on mediocrity every day. It's to refuse the lukewarm comfort of average and instead ignite the fire of obsession, discipline, and belief. The world doesn't hand out fortunes. It yields to those who claim it. First in thought, then in effort, and finally in destiny. Carnegie knew it. He didn't wait for permission. He built his empire with sweat and steel. But long before the skyscrapers and railroads, he built a mind of clarity. Edison failed 10,000 times to invent the light bulb, not because he loved failure, but because he believed in something most don't. That failure is data, and persistence is the rent for progress. He thought like a millionaire long before he became one. He saw wealth not as a pile of money, but as the power to manifest vision through relentless focus. You want to think like a millionaire? Start here. Kill the noise. Kill the distractions, the envy, the need for approval. Millionaire thinking is sovereign thinking. It doesn't need applause to act. It doesn't beg for validation. It moves with inner conviction. Most people are ruled by the outer world, the news, the opinions, the algorithm. Millionaires are ruled by an inner compass. While others wait for signs, they create their own. While others fear risk, they understand it. While others procrastinate, they act. Understand this, the poverty mindset is not about income, it's about indecision. It's about waiting for the stars to align, for motivation to strike, for someone else to give them the green light. But millionaires don't wait. They decide, they move, they adapt, and they burn the boats behind them so there's no turning back. It begins with belief. Not the fragile belief that wavers under pressure, but the kind that burns so deeply it becomes identity. Belief that says, this is who I am, this is what I do, no matter what. If you don't believe it, you'll never build it, because the world mirrors your internal dialogue. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Henry Ford was ridiculed for dreaming of a car for every family. It can't be done, they said. He ignored them, not with arrogance, but with unshakable belief. He didn't chase validation. He created value. He didn't ask if it was possible. He decided it would be, and bent reality around his decision. So the question is not, how do I get rich? The real question is, who must I become? You don't chase wealth. You become it. You think it. You embody it. Wealth is not just numbers. It's mindset, habits, environment, and execution. It's a way of thinking so precise, so intentional, that the world begins to shift in your favor. Not because luck found you, but because you finally aligned with a higher standard. A millionaire mindset is not born, it is built. And the cornerstone of that mindset is clarity. You must know what you want, not vaguely, not casually, but with laser precision. Vague goals produce vague results. Millionaires are ruthless with clarity. They know the number, they know the date, they know the outcome before it happens, because their mind is wired to find the path the moment the target is set. Clarity gives direction, and direction fuels discipline. Discipline is not suffering, it's power. It's self-respect in action. You don't skip the gym because your feelings are off. You don't delay the project because motivation ran dry. Millionaire thinking divorces emotion from execution. You do what must be done, regardless of how you feel, because you're driven by who you've decided to be. Discipline is the bridge between thought and reality. It's how dreams are pulled from imagination and forged into existence. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lack of creativity. Imagine if he'd believed them. Imagine if he'd stopped drawing, stopped dreaming. But he didn't. He kept going. Not because he had certainty in the outcome, but because he had certainty in himself. That's the essence of millionaire thinking. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step daily, relentlessly, with faith. And faith in this context is not blind. It is earned. It is forged in effort, refined in failure, and hardened in the fires of doubt. Faith is a decision to persist, even when the world offers no guarantees. And still, there will be storms. There will be setbacks, betrayals, losses. But millionaire thinkers see adversity as tuition. Every setback is a seminar. Every pain is a professor. To think like a millionaire is to understand the power of vision, not just wishful thinking, but the kind of vision that wakes you up early and keeps you up late. Vision is the blueprint of your future. Without it, you're building a life without architecture. But with it, you become the architect of your destiny. Vision is not fantasy. It's focused imagination. Every skyscraper, every breakthrough, every fortune started as a vision in someone's mind. Disney envisioned an empire of imagination long before he had a single brick. He saw Disneyland while standing in an empty field, and he believed it so completely, so obsessively, that the world had no choice but to catch up. But here's the truth. Vision alone is not enough. The graveyard is full of dreamers who never moved. To think like a millionaire, you must act with ruthless consistency. Millionaires understand this law. Small actions, compounded daily, build empires. It's not the once-in-a-while effort that moves the needle. It's the daily grind, the unseen work, the reps when nobody is clapping. When you adopt this mindset, time becomes your ally. You no longer rush success. You engineer it. You don't wish for overnight results. You understand that wealth built slowly is wealth that lasts. Quick money fades, fast fame burns. But legacy, that's crafted brick by brick, day by day, with patience, persistence, and power. And that power comes from purpose. Without purpose, action becomes exhausting. But with purpose, discipline turns into devotion. Millionaire thinkers don't just work hard, they work aligned. They wake up knowing why they exist. Their goals aren't random, their mission isn't vague. They are moved by something deeper than money: impact, freedom, contribution, creation. You see, money is not the root, it is the fruit. The root is purpose. Purpose sharpens your mind, it fuels your energy, it makes the hard days meaningful, it pulls you through the fire and into the future. It's why the greats keep going when the crowd disappears. Purpose doesn't quit. Purpose is undefeated. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb to get rich. He did it to solve a problem, to give the world a better way. The money followed the mission. Carnegie didn't build steel empires for vanity. He did it because he saw a new way to build the future. Money followed the value. When you think like a millionaire, you stop chasing wealth and start creating it. And to create wealth, you must master one truth. Your mind is either your multiplier or your limiter. If you feed it doubt, it will shrink your world. If you feed it belief, it will expand beyond logic. The thoughts you tolerate become the standards you live by. You must become the gatekeeper of your mental environment. Guard it like your fortune depends on it, because it does. Millionaire thinkers do not entertain defeat. They don't dwell in fear. They don't repeat stories of failure, lack, or limitation. They audit their thoughts like an investor audits cash flow. If the thought doesn't produce power, clarity, or confidence, it doesn't belong. This is mental discipline. This is wealth consciousness. And from consciousness comes action. Not frantic, scattered movement, but focused, strategic execution. Millionaire thinkers know the value of time. They don't waste it. They don't kill it. They invest it like capital. Every hour has a return. Every minute is allocated with intention. While others are entertained, they are educated. While others scroll, they strategize. This is not obsession. This is alignment. Obsession is when you move without awareness. Alignment is when you move with precision. Millionaires know when to sprint, when to rest, and